Hi everyone, so please welcome Marquel Russel, my dear friend right here from Client Acquisition University. I mean, man, we met in person and today I'm very honored to finally get to interview you today.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. So, Marquel, for those who don't know you yet, I mean, who are you and how you become you today?
Yeah, so I'm Marquel Russel. I am here in Atlanta, Georgia, in the US. And basically, so I got started in entrepreneurship at a very young age. So I always been entrepreneurial. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was at the time, but I always kind of had a drive to kind of create my own. I was naturally rebellious. I didn't really like rules and people kind of telling me what to do and that type of thing. So I guess I kind of birthed into entrepreneurship. So I start my earlier businesses. I did like cutting grass. I took out trash. I'm in the neighborhood. I I made like little mixtapes with music, and
Ah,
I start I actually started selling drugs at a young age as well. So I dropped out of high school in 10th grade, started selling drugs. That was my full-time business. Started going to jail because that's kind of what leak comes from, selling drugs. So started going to jail. I had my first son when I was 19. I was in jail actually. So I came home and I said, all right, I'm gonna do this job thing. So I attempted the job thing for a while, with a very short while, and it didn't work out. So I went back into the streets doing my thing, but then I used the money I was making to start an entertainment company. So I was managing music artists, doing club promotions and stuff in the entertainment industry. And while I was in the club one night, I was introduced to network marketing. I was invited to an event, pitched on this network marketing opportunities, ground floor opportunity is going to completely change everything. I ended up joining this network marketing opportunity, and it was telling me, talk to people who come within 3 feet of you, talk to your friends and family, do home and hotel parties. And while that worked a little bit for me, I knew it had to be more to it because you only have so many people to talk to that right? And most of the people I grew up with, they weren't interested. So somebody on my team, they introduced me to online marketing. They sent me a link to a 4-part video series. I watched the 4-part video series, and that led me in. That was my first like launch funnel that I saw because before then, I wasn't even online.
mm,
So I watched these videos, and then I bought this ebook. It was like $40. It was called Magnetic Sponsoring. So I bought it, and then that led me into like a funnel where I ended up buying other stuff, and I was just obsessed with how are people leveraging this internet to grow businesses, get clients, make money, and all this different type of stuff. So I was obsessed with it. So I was trying to learn everything. I was like I was addicted to like the shiny objects. Any new thing I was buying it. Wasn't really implementing anything. I ended up blowing all my savings, trying to figure this stuff out, but wasn't getting any results. Mainly because I wasn't implementing anything. And I bought a course one time, and the guy Adam, buddy of mine now, he told me, look, man, all you got to do is pick one thing and focus on that one thing, and then that's it. Just do that consistently. So at that time, it was content creation. So I used to create a piece of content every single day, and then I started generating leads, start building a brand, all the different type of stuff, being on all the social media platforms like everybody was saying do. And I started to get some traction. So people started reaching out, asking, what were we doing? I was in network marketing at the time. I became a number recruiter in the network marketing company I was in, all via the internet for the most part. So people was asking what I was doing. They started asking me to speak at their events. People wanted me to coach them. So I started coaching, and we grew our coaching business to 6 figures, about $10,000-$15,000 a month. And people want to know, how do we do that? Like, how are we getting these coaching clients? And one thing I had really got really good at without even realizing it was generating leads and converting those leads into clients. So I started teaching other people that. People started getting results, and I was like, wow, so this not only works for me, but it's also working for other people. So we just decided to perfect the system. So we
mm.
perfected the system, and then, fast forward a few years, my company, Client Attraction University, now, I mean, we've helped our clients generate over $20 million in revenue. We got thousands of successful client success stories. Yeah, and we just kind of becoming a household name when it comes to attracting high ticket clients in our space. So that's the short abridged version of the story.
That's already very impressive, right? I mean, anyone's saying like, wow, that's going to be a long haul until here.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think why people, I mean, I don't know, but like why most of the entrepreneurs these days start from MLM business?
That's a great question. So I think the MLM business, the reason I think a lot of people get started in the MLM business because it's kind of like the lowest barrier of entry, right?
Mm.
It doesn't cost a lot of money to get started. Some of them you get started for almost nothing. The one I had got in, it was like $500 to get started, but there are some you can get started for like $50. I think there's some that you can get started for no money down. So it's like the lowest barrier of entry, right? So it doesn't cost much money to get started. Number two, um, like the systems and so forth, for the most part, are already in place. The training is in place. So it's a lot of stuff in place that they wouldn't necessarily have to traditionally do if they went out and started this business from complete scratch, right? So I think that would be the biggest reason why. And I'm a big, I don't, because I feel like network marketing completely changed my life because it the biggest thing that most people, I think the biggest benefit from network marketing, even if you don't make tons of money, is like the personal development that you get. So like the mindset and the being introduced to personal development and self growth and all that good stuff. Those are the biggest things that helped me because they helped me like overcome my fear of public speaking, talking to people, how I viewed myself. So it really helped out like in a real big way.
Yeah, I see this good side of network marketing in many entrepreneurs right now. Like I have seen their transform their confidence. That's very big deal. And also able to get out of the comfort zone to talk to stranger more because they
Yep.
have network marketing background. And I
True.
find those who having the label themselves like introvert entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
still needs to overcome that because they don't have this network marketing background, and that surprised me somehow. Yeah,
Very
but
true.
I have never worked in the MLM or anything though. I don't really understand that system, by the way. Just put it
Right.
out there. No
Right.
judge right here, but
Right.
like that's what I see. And this is another thing. I hear you mention that you perfect the system that you have validated. And that is something I personally experience to my clients or like people around me who work in the internet world these days. They want the fast result and they're not taking time to validate that. Can you help me explain to any of the audience right here who I really love and want to make them success, how can they validate their online business right now to make it work like what you did?
Great question. So I think a lot of times, especially like online, it's like everybody's an expert, right? And I do believe that everybody has some level of expertise that they can monetize. So I'm a big proponent of that. I think the biggest thing we have to do is like you said, perfect and validate our system. And one of the best ways to do it, because a lot of times people ask me, well, if I'm just starting a coaching business or if I'm just starting a consulting business or something, how can I charge if I'm just getting started? And I'm like, well, if you've developed knowledge and expertise over the years, right? And now you're ready to teach other people that or guide other people through it, hopefully you've at least validated through you. Hopefully you didn't just read a book or you didn't just go through a course or you didn't just listen to a podcast and now you feel like you're an expert at this thing. Like go out and like implement it, get some data, prove that it works, that at least you can make it work. And then once you make it work, now you go out and share it with other people. And then also don't take for granted. Cause like some people say, well, I haven't made $1 million, so I can't teach other people. I haven't made X, so I can't teach it. Well, I haven't lost 100 pounds, so I can't teach other people. It's like, what have you done? Right. And then teach on that. So for me, when I first started teaching online, it was just, I was teaching network marketers how to get leads for their business, for their network marketing business. Cause that's what I was learning. So I wasn't positioning myself as the network marketing guru who doing all this. I was just like, hey, I'm just a guy figuring this stuff out. So now I'm just sharing it. So like, for example, once I learned how to get 3 leads a day, I make a video teaching how I got 3 leads a day. 5 leads a day, 10 leads a day, I'll make a video teaching that. Once I learned how to recruit people for my network marketing business on Facebook, I started teaching how I was doing it. So that became my thing, how to recruit reps for your network marketing business using Facebook, right? So I was just teaching what I was doing, what was working for me. And then other people were going to implement it. They were getting results and they started telling me about their results. And those became our earlier testimonials. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, if anyone check Marquel website, you're gonna see tons of testimonial.
Absolutely.
Like I mean a lot of them. Like you can feel overwhelmed by that. And that is the first impression that I know you actually. And it's always like that. And I really like the way that you position yourself that way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. But I'm always curious, why webinar?
You said why webinar? So basically, so the way our model is set up, so we used to do like a ton of like webinars. So we used to do an automated webinar model, right? So it's like people will click on the link, you know, the link, the webinar is about to start. You watch the webinar, go through the whole process. So we've kind of tweaked our process a little bit more. And again, the biggest thing, like it goes back to what you said, validating it, right? So it was working really well for us. It was working well for some of our clients, but it was really complicated. So in terms of like all the automations and the tech stuff that goes into building out an automated webinar funnel. So what we decided to do was like simplify it. Like, okay, how do we make this more simple so other people can do it? So what we decided to do is we removed the webinar. So now it's just like we pretty much use like a case study video funnel. So somebody click on the link, they opt in, they can watch the video right then versus register for a webinar and showing up. They can watch the video, consume the content, and then they go, you know, into the next step to the process. And the biggest reason why we do that, and I like the video, is because I believe that the best way to show people you can help them is by actually helping them, right? So the best way you can show people you can help them, and you can help them, is by doing a quick case study video, teaching them something already, and basically saying, hey, if you want me to help you implement this, you know, here's what to do next. Go schedule a call or click here to go buy or whatever the case may be.
How do you filter your clients who on board with you? Because your service is also high tickets, but like I'm sure 100% that you have faced not a good fit clients that are already on board. How you handle those people?
So great question. So we do a lot of like screening on the front end just to make sure we bring on clients that we can actually help. And that we actually like and would enjoy working with. So we do a ton of screening on the front end, just making sure the business model fits, making sure they're in the right mentality where we can help them, making sure they're actually at least humble enough to take direction and coachable, because those are typically the only ones we can help get results. People who come in, they're trying to change the process, they're trying to do it their own way. Those all end up being like nightmare clients, right? So it's about a lot of screening on the front end, being crystal clear about who we work with, who we don't work with, who we can help, and being clear on that, I think is very, 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 very important.
You know what I just experienced? I tested. I don't know why I hear this method. Someone mentioned Tai Lopez in his webinar or podcast or something about that. Keep increasing your price until they opt out by themselves, that they're not going to buy anymore. And I really like that methodology. So I also have like the clients that's not a good fit type of thing. And I try to narrow down my service that they feel overwhelmed, that they know that this is not the right place for them anymore. So I have no need to kick them out, but they will leave by themselves. And that's a very good, I mean, I discovered that. And apart from filtering them from the front end to be a good fit clients and knowing for sure that you're going to bring them the result, along the way that you keep validating and then like perfecting your system, let's say your operational system of your call course. That's amazing. That's the feeling like, oh, I have no need to kick them out. They just leave by themselves because they know that's different story though. I'm like, just happened today. I'm like, wow, this thing works.
Absolutely. It 100% works. 100% works.
Yeah. But by the way, your community are very strong. And you mentioned that you start from network marketing. That's true. You have built some kind of team, but it's different from like running a business as a team. Those are recruiting team, right? And this is like your back end support your client and also support your own business. When you decided to build the team at the very first place?
So I think I brought my assistant on, I think about 2 or 3 years ago. That was my first hire. And I always tell people, I think that's the most important hire, like having an executive assistant. So I would say probably about 2 or 3 years ago, that's when I brought on my assistant. And then over the past year or so, we've been building out the rest of the team. So like our client support team, tech team, marketing team, our sales team, building out all those different divisions. That's been a huge focus for us over the past like year and a half. And I brought my assistant on initially probably about 3 years ago. So it's been huge, because if you're going to build a business, and you're going to build something, like if you're going to do like a lifestyle business, and you're just making 10, 15,000 a month or whatever, you kind of do a lot of that on your own, depending on what you sell. But if you want to grow it bigger and impact more people, you're definitely going to require like a team, in the right team to build things out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. How many team members do you have right now, may I ask?
Yeah, so right now we have like 10. Yeah. So
Right.
right now we have 10, and then we're about to break. So like it'll be 11. So we just hired somebody yesterday. So about 11. Yeah. And we're still in the hiring process. We're about 10 or 11 right now.
And you are the one who manage the team, or you have your assistant manage the team for you? Like, do you have any like project manager or your COO that handling this management part for you, or you do it yourself?
Yeah. So basically, the way our model is set up, we have I'm not sure if you ever read the book Rocket Fuel. You ever read it?
No, not yet.
So Rocket Fuel, they had this concept where it's the visionary and it's the integrator, right?
Okay, right. Yeah.
Right. So with our company, I'm more of the integrator. I play the role of the integrator, and then we have an integrator. My guy Andre, he's my business partner as well, and he's the integrator. And he's also the head of our client success department. So we're mainly coaching and leading the team. He's mainly doing the majority of it, because we're transitioning to more of that model of the integrator and visionary. So mainly it's more about leading and coaching the team, because we make sure we bring on the right people, so we don't necessarily have to manage, quote unquote. So like people can kind of self-manage themselves. So we're not micromanaging them, but they understand the system. We have regular feedback loops with our daily huddle calls in the mornings. So now once everybody's clear, everybody's not stuck on anything, now they can kind of go out and do their own thing every single day without us necessarily having to manage them.
Yeah, I agree with that. You are the second person who told me to read the book. Zachary was the first person who told me to read that book. I seems like I have to read that. I will read that after I finish this assignment. It's right here.
This is really good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I really like the way that business structure by the function of the team member, because they already know their job, right? And you have no need to micromanage much. Yeah, I understand. I agree with that model. How do you find as an integrator, but you also the leader? So it's actually good that you have seen things from both sides of the integrator side and also the vision side as well, because you lead the whole team, right?
Right. So yeah, so for me, for the most part, I've always typically done like visionary and integrator. And then Andre, he's also done like integrating. So we're like a two-headed monster basically. So we kind of got our yin and yang, how we operate, how we grow the team, how we work with the team members. So now we're just kind of clarifying, because that book just helped us like clarify and like really put into words our exact role. You know what I'm saying? Because some people will say CEO, COO, but it's kind of like more of the visionary and integrator, because our God-given gifts and abilities, we just tap into that specifically, and then let the other person kind of do their thing. So now we can kind of maximize what we specifically should be doing.
Yeah, and here's another part that I want to talk to you about. How do you frame the perspective? So when you are on the top and you look top down to see the whole company and also customer service, right? Still you have to look from top down picture. But then how do you know what it's like to be your clients enjoy your journey along the way since you onboard them until at the end that they get the result and they refer to other people who are like them further.
So yeah, so we're really hands-on with our clients. So it's not, so we don't really sell a course where they log into a members area and then they don't hear from us no more. We don't hear from them more, and they just kind of go figure it out. We're like super hands-on. So each week we got like 4 coaching calls with our clients. Andre pretty much heads up the client success, so he's doing the calls, and we got our copy coach and our whole copy coaching team. So we're really hands-on with our clients inside of the Facebook group. We got to post on what's happening in their business. So it's not really like any distance. We're like we're hearing what's going on. We're hearing the data. We're hearing the challenges. We're helping them overcome challenges like literally every single day. So it's like we're not detached from what's going on because they're building their businesses. We're in the trenches with them, helping them do their thing, and then we're also building a business as well. So we're very, very active in the process.
Right. Do those obstacles that your clients face, even though you have perfecting your framework already, how would you adapt those and then make it better from your own side?
So that's a great question. So basically, so the obstacles, so there's 99.9% of the time, our clients typically don't really come into an obstacle that we haven't already like faced and overcame, because we only work with clients with a specific type of business model for the most part. So, and we're helping them dial in their sales and their marketing. So within that, we got specific KPIs, we got specific drivers, we got specific baselines that we're focused on. So we're making sure they stay within those. So that way we can kind of control the outcome. And it's really difficult to encounter anything outside of that because we've kind of done the thing a million times. It's kind of like, let's say, for example, if you're walking through a field, right, and it's the different landmines. There's landmines on this field. So if I go across the field and I find out where all the landmines are, and I've been through across this field a few times, then when I come back and get you and guide you through it, I can say, okay, it's a landmine there, don't step there. It's a landmine there, don't step there, don't step there. And I kind of guide you through because we've already experienced all the landmines. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
it does. I just talked about this the other day that the cooking cutter process, like if you want to be like that person, so that's why you buy that course. But then make sure that they really do like that business and you are aligned with them at most of the perspective of your personal life and business. Because if you really do the same thing, you should get the same result, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like to the T.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you just mentioned. That's why you're very specific on who you onboard
Yep.
your course. Because if not, you couldn't control the outside factors that really mess up people's life.
Bingo. Exactly. So that's why we don't do like restaurants or, I mean, we could help restaurants because we understand the market and stuff, but it's like, it doesn't align with our system and our deliverables and our process. So it will be like creating something new every time.
So right now you help coaches, course creator, consultant, agency.
Yeah. So mainly like coaches, consultants, like if you're a course creator and they want to make it a higher ticket offer, and then also like service providers. So if you have a service and you sell via the phone or in person and you want more qualified sales calls, we work with them as well.
How do you define the differences between coaches, consultant, and course creator and service provider right now?
So to be honest with you, a coach, a consultant, so a consultant simply is somebody who makes money from selling their advice and their expertise. That and a coach, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing for the most part. If we just being honest, it's a little nuances that may be a little different, but for the most part, they make money off their expertise, and that's kind of how we categorize it. We work with individuals who are expert businesses or client-based businesses. So you either make money off your knowledge and expertise, or you drive your business based on getting clients, and you sell via the phone or in person or something like that. So you want to fill your calendar with qualified people. So that's kind of how we categorize it.
Yeah. That's kind of hard, because like until you realize that they are not really different in the
Mhm.
sense it's just the same way that they provide a service. People label themselves differently still.
True. That's very true. So mainly what we speak to is we speak to more of the outcome and the challenges that they're having. So all of them have the same challenges in terms of getting clients, getting qualified people on the phone, enrolling people into their offers, attracting people who aren't paying them what they want. So we kind of speaking more to that versus speaking to the specific type of business.
Because you focus on the outcome, and then the model you will discover that on the phone when they will call with you again.
Bingo. Exactly.
Regardless how they call themselves,
Mm-hmm.
that's it's might not valid, right?
Yeah, because some people are we may see them as a coach, but they don't label themselves as a coach, but they
Mm.
have a coaching business. They don't really like to call themselves a coach. So yeah, so it's more speaking to like the pain and the outcome and the challenges and all that good stuff versus like the type of business.
And how do you see high tickets models from now until, I don't know, you gonna keep stick at the high tickets forever? Like, is that your plan? You
Yeah,
just
yeah, for sure. I mean, because like I believe that's the fastest way to help businesses like turn things around in terms of getting more profit, growing their business, being able to hire, being able to systemize. Like if you add a high ticket offer onto your business, if you don't already have one, it's the number one way to grow your revenue and grow your business pretty quickly by having a high ticket offer.
So, what is your opinion regarding to the low ticket or middle ticket offer?
You said, what's my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
I think they all work. I think it just depends on like what you desire, right? So I think when you do low ticket offers, it creates more it creates more complexity
Mm-hmm.
in your business. Also, if you're just starting out and you're in the earlier phases and you don't have a ton of access to cash to run ads, selling a low ticket offer via ads and online is definitely way harder to make that convert profitably with ads. But if you're doing a high ticket, it makes it easier to actually convert profitably with ads. Or at least if you're selling something low ticket on the front, so maybe it's a book or a course or a membership, have like a high ticket offer on the back end of it to
Mm-hmm.
help your ads become profitable.
So, do you help your clients to build that model as well, like the value funnel up, or you just focus in the past of like high tickets and then like close on the phone?
Yeah, so we mainly do from ad to marketing funnel to a call, and then they enroll them over the phone, and then they go high ticket from that. So they may go, let's say they're friendly
Mastermind.
enough, huh?
They go like mastermind, inner circle,
Yeah,
and up.
exactly. So you even your ascension is like high ticket stuff.
What's next for you, Markwell, in your business?
So yeah, for us, I mean, I feel like we're just getting warmed up still. So it's like we got
Oh,
yeah. So we just this is the tip of the iceberg. So we helping more clients get results. Our goal, we're gonna help clients create $100 million in revenue over the next 5 years or so. Our mission right now is to help create 1,000 automated client attraction systems. Because once we can help these business owners attract more clients and automate it, now they're in a place where they can actually have true freedom in their business, financial freedom, time freedom, all that good stuff. So we're just getting warmed up. We're growing a team, dialing stuff in, learning more than ever. Yeah, and just kind of shifting because because you're in the systems. It's a difference in being an online business and even an entrepreneur and shifting to like business owner, right? It's just two completely different things. So it's like having an online business and then having a company is two completely different things. So we're like making that shift to really play at an even higher level and serve at an even higher level. And yeah, so we're just scratching the surface for sure.
so meaning right now you have other offer apart from the course, like the client attraction university then, right? Like you might have the done for you agency back end. Is that, I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, so mainly what we got right now. So what we do is we have a few things. So we do a 3-day intensive event. So we have a 3-day event where somebody comes and by the time they leave, their entire client attraction system is live. Ads and
Wow.
everything. Yeah, so that's our 3-day event. We actually got one coming up September 17th through 19th. So that's our 3-day event we also have a one-day event that we do. It's virtual now. This one is coming up August 8th. I'm not sure when this will be live, but it's coming up August 8th. So that's like a one-day event. But our actual programs is the 3-day event, and then we have our Client Attraction University 12-week program, and then we have our mastermind. We have our inner circle, and then we have our mastermind. But we don't really do any done for you like agency stuff, because we like empowering the client and like teaching them so they'll know when they control the business. Because I think a big mistake a lot of business owners make is they go out and hire an agency just because they don't want to learn marketing, or they hire sales agency just because they don't want to learn sales. I think you should at least have a basic understanding of advertising before going to outsource it. Because if you go hire somebody to run your ads, your Facebook ads, and you don't know anything about Facebook ads, you don't really know if they're delivering or not, right? So you definitely want to have a base level understanding. So we make sure our clients have an understanding of it, and they know enough to be dangerous, and they can manage it in-house. Or if they decide to go out and hire somebody, at least they like know what they're doing.
Yeah, because if they don't know, they're gonna lose money.
Yep, absolutely. Because these agencies, they'll take your money because you don't know what you're buying anyway.
Yeah, I keep saying that and no one believes me. Like I find actually surprisingly many people just like, I don't want to deal with that. So can just someone do it for me? Like that?
Yeah, it's weird. And then you go out and hire somebody to do it all for you. And then let's say you hire somebody to go build your funnel. They build your funnel and then they hand it over to you. You don't even know what to do with it. You don't know how to make any changes to it. Your team members don't know what to do if you have a team. Let's say you go hire somebody to run your ads, an agency, and then this agency disappears for whatever reason. Now you lose your whole business and your whole marketing arm because you gave it to somebody else just because you didn't want to deal with it. And that's just not the smart move.
But right now you focus only on the Facebook ads, right?
Yeah, so we mainly do Facebook ads, Instagram ads,
Um,
and then those are the main channels.
right. And if Facebook has gone, what you gonna do?
So yeah, so we're pretty savvy in I understand paid, because the cool thing about paid advertising is like once you understand the strategy, you can kind of tap into anything else. So we're about to start testing. We've done some YouTube. We haven't went all in on YouTube, but we're about to start rolling out some YouTube stuff, some LinkedIn stuff, Twitter, TikTok ads. So we're gonna be leveraging more platforms. But yeah, and of course the most important thing, we have an email list. So we always got that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You see how Marquel, until who he is today, until he bring his business until this day, a lot of trial and error, and that's okay, right? And that's fun.
Yeah, for sure. So it's so like me, I think trial and error is great if that's what you got to do. However, I think a smarter thing is just to go out and hire an expert. So like instead of you trying to figure it out on your own and do trial and error, it's more expensive than actually just hiring a coach. Because if I knew what I knew now, I would have just hired a coach a long time ago. So I think if you can go out and find somebody who actually is who they say they are and they're great at what they do and they know what you want to know, just go pay them. And then listen to them and do what they tell you to do. So I think that's the fastest way to do it.
In that case, if someone want to pay you, how can they reach out to you then?
So yeah, somebody wanting to work with us, the first step, what I would say, is go to paidadplaybook.com. So that's paidadplaybook.com. And they can go over and they can check out our whole process of how we help our clients get 50 to 100 leads per day that actually convert into clients. Our whole process. It's a playbook download, and it's also some bonus videos that come with it. So I would say the first step is to go check that out. It's all free. And then from there, if they like what we're up to and they kind of like what we're doing, they can kind of schedule a call and see, if we're a good fit.
Yeah. Thank you so much for today, Marquel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This is really a ton of fun.
Hey, thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed the show, you can subscribe here or here. And this is the previous episode. Check it out. See you next time.